Hi. I'll be responding to Michael's claim that controversy over anthropogenic global warming is a political issue rather than a scientific one. He has two secondary claims. The first one is the scientific evidence and the consensus derived from such evidence undeniably shows that the emission of carbon dioxide is causing an increase in global temperatures. And his second claim is those against global warming in American politics have manufactured doubt in order to obfuscate the reality of AGW. And my response to his first claim that the consensus derived from such evidence undeniably shows the emission of carbon dioxide is causing an increase in global temperatures is there is no consensus on global warming. According to Merriam-Webster, consensus is defined as a general agreement about something, which brings me to my next claim, where he states that 97.1% of papers supported by AGW is supported that AGW is occurring, and the 97% number is inaccurate. Roy Spencer and Joseph Glass of the Wall Street Journal call the number fiction, and the so-called consensus comes from a handful of surveys and abstract counting exercises that have been contradicted by more reliable research. The 97% number originally comes from a survey taken by Maggie Kendall Zimmerman, and the survey asked two questions to 10,257 scientists, and out of that 10,257, only 3,146 responded. And of that 3,146, the 97% number was only calculated based off of 77 respondents. The 97% number was based on the first two questions of the survey. The first question was, when compared with pre-1800s levels, do you think that mean global temperatures have generally risen, fallen, or remained relatively constant? 76 out of 79 of those people answered risen. Anyone who answered anything other than risen didn't see the next question of the survey. The survey ended there. And then the next question was, do you think human activity is a significant contributing factor in changing mean global temperatures? And 75 out of 77, which is 97%, answered yes. And that's where the 97% number came from. So it was only based off of one question on the survey, and only 77 of that 3,146 people were considered into finding that number. And then his second claim is those against global warming in American politics have manufactured doubt in order to obfuscate the doubt. He compares the doubt of global warming to the tobacco strategy, a strategy in which he claims the media exaggerated the effects of tobacco use. However, both sides of global warming, both sides of the global warming dispute can be guilty for this. The people that are advocating that global warming is real are also exaggerating the effects of it. This is similar to something that happened in the 1970s when the fear was global cooling instead of global warming. Scientists were predicting that the next millennium would be the next ice age, which obviously didn't happen. And these extreme weather events were hyped up as the signs of the oncoming apocalypse, and man-made pollution was to blame, which is exactly what they're saying now, except they're saying that it's global warming instead of global cooling. And yeah. That's it.
All right, well, the main and secondary claims are laid out pretty well. You just have the two issues that you're dealing with. The first one, you directly contradict the claim that there is consensus. You define what a consensus is, and then you talk about why the 97% figure that the advocate cited is problematic. You've got a good explanation about where it comes from and a good explanation about why it's not really indicative of what people believe. Although when you do present the two questions, the questions seem to suggest that of those people who answered, that 77, not the 10,000 that came up with this, that were introduced in this study, had some issue about these particular issues. It seems to me like some more generic arguments about the impact of global warming or the reliability of the models would be appropriate on this particular point. But you did have, like I said, an answer to the consensus issue. On the second point, you've got a good counterexample with the global cooling phenomena. I do think you could use a source citation on that and say, look, this is all alarmism that's going on here. I think what's also missing is some discussion about how science is supposed to work. The idea that there's consensus might point us in the direction of what research to do, but you always keep researching. The idea that says, oh, well, we've got 97% say this, so we don't need to research it anymore. I'm pretty sure that's not the way science is supposed to work. You don't stop researching something, especially if there is extra area where there is uncertainty, and it seems like there is some degree of uncertainty here. So I think you've got the right two responses here. They need to be a little bit more elaborate, and I think especially on the first point, some contradictory claims are appropriate. And we want a better exit than end. Yeah. All right, that's okay.